Let's get it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spinner Rack. I'm here with my boy, Prime Minister himself, also known as Colossus, Petey.
Colossus.
Hey, Petey. So what we're going to be talking about is the X-Men. How can Marvel introduce them into the Marvel universe? You know, they were. Some people say they were a successful franchise in Fox. Others say they weren't. The question is, how can they be brought into the Marvel universe? Should they be brought in individually? Should they be brought in as a group? Tell me, what's your take on this?
Okay, my only worry where I have this picture up is that they utilize what we've seen before, that having the most recent versions of the characters, which is the Jonathan Hickman version with Krakoa, which is the mutant that's a living island that walks like a man. That is their ecosystem. And I'm hoping they don't use any of that stuff because it's too wacky, which with the X-Men concept is very simple. It's feared and hated by the world they're sworn to protect. And bringing Krakoa, which is the nutty idea, was good for giant size, having this giant size mutant like fight against the X-Men. But that's a one-off. That's just a one-off. So we're going to get to the meat and potatoes. I'm going to go, because I know I'm just going to go and tell you what I want to do. I just want to go to X-Men #1 and do X-Men #1.
The original 5 X-Men? The original, the old school team?
The original X-Men. To get the concept, you can slowly start to bring in Wolverine or figure those sort of characters out. But ultimately, because people kind of get lost and say, oh, how can you deal with something about Injustice where it's like, it's just 4 white guys. No, 5, they would throw the Marvel girl in as a guy. But ultimately, I think the concept is simple. The concept is simple, and you have to get to that simple concept. And when you put Wolverine in there, you change sort of the dynamic of the friendship that these original 5s had, that they were really like classmates. That there's only the closest rivals was what was it? The closest rival is actually Cyclops and who's that guy? Cyclops and Angel, but they were friends. Angel already knew that Jean was in love with Scott, and he didn't fight it when that happened. He was like, he was okay with it. It was like they were still brothers, even though there was sort of there was only a little bit. And that's the thing that people get lost when they do these characters, because it was different from the Fantastic Four. They weren't doing the bickering. When you see the new X-Men, you get all that bickering and all these different personalities. But ultimately, what you've got is something that's like a brotherhood of these classmates. And Jean, who they liked, but ultimately Beast and Iceman, they moved on. And Cyclops was the only one that had this big crush. And Jean had a crush on Scott, but she was dealing with someone that was so closed in, she didn't understand how he felt. But he had these glasses where his powers are on all the time. So that's the interesting part about him, and getting to that sort of thing of these characters, getting back to those original concepts and not worry about that these are all white people in there. Because the original characters, the dynamics are stronger. The new X-Men, the characters themselves and the powers are more interesting. But the dynamics, you can see it when artists play with the originals. It's more fun outside of Wolverine, obviously doing cool stuff. When you get to that original dynamic, there's more teamwork and stuff that plays off of it. So that's what I would ultimately love to see. If we had to do the new X-Men, we run into...
Wait, hold on. So this one, you're saying originally you want to do, if you could, you would do the classic X-Men #1, right?
I would do the classic X-Men. I would try to not use who's that guy? I would try to not use, Magneto. I would try to use another, either they sort of did the Sentinels, but I'd like to try to do the Sentinels, but I would like to set them up later. So I'd probably try to figure a bigger villain, someone outside of Magneto, for them to fight for their first thing. Obviously, Magneto has to be a part of it, but I would do what they're supposed to do. Put Magneto and Xavier's relationship down so they can do something different. put Wolverine down so they can do something different and bring those characters back later because they have money in the bank. You're gonna bring those guys in, and like me, I want Magneto just to be a stone cold villain. So that's what I would more go for. So it's or bloody minded villain. So no stealing on anything from Doom, none of that stuff. So or Submariner, just have
So
that. Hmm?
no. So that's interesting. But how do you get them into the MCU? I mean, using the original X-Men. I have my own big. I have big problems like that. But
I
how?
just do a movie where you introduce you to the X-Men.
What movie? What character? What movies would you do?
You know,
Thor.
you remember what the original X-Men movie did? They brought you in where Wolverine comes to the school. In X-Men #1, know who comes to the school? Jean. It's the same sort of thing. It's the
So you're
same.
saying you want. So basically, you're saying a standalone X-Men movie with the original five. That's all you're saying. I just want to make sure I understand that.
Villain. That's what I want.
Okay. All right. So I think you're out of your frigging mind.
That's perfect. It's perfect.
Nobody wants to see that whole old school scenario. So I would say if I was talking about bringing in the whole X-Men, first of all, X-Men is huge. Let's just get us out the. There's a lot of characters. There's just too many characters. But I'm saying now we have the possibility of getting the elite of all.
No, because all we're talking about Avengers versus X-Men.
Bro, I let you talk. Yo, bro, I let you talk. Can I say something too?
I wasn't done.
Is it hate? Yo, I was waiting for you to give me a chance to come in, bro. The question was, would you bring them in together or individually? You chose your team. All right. If there's more to say, let me hear what you got to say.
No, ultimately, I think them meeting each other, that would happen. I don't know when that would happen, but I think these X-Men comics should not do stories where they have to meet up and do these big crossovers because you run into the problem of trying to top what you did before with having the galaxy. Like, what if they had the X-Men when you already had the Guardians of the Galaxies and the Avengers? You had too much. It was like people taking their turns on screen and say, all right, now you go. It's like you're backstage waiting for your moment. So.
Is that it? Is that what you want to say?
Backstage waiting for your moment. I think I had a period on. You just waiting for yourself to go, right?
Right, go. Yeah, I'm waiting. Look, I'm saying first of all, we got to give the people what they want. People want to see Wolverine, okay? That's without a doubt. People been biting the chops to see Cable. People in the biting the chops to see, Storm, Rogue. I don't know so much about Gambit, but let's say we'll throw in Gambit for the head. We want to see not Jubilee. They want to see forgot her name. There are so many mutants. They're like, I think the mutants, if they did their own handbook of mutants, there's probably got to be like over a couple hundred of them. But I'm saying let's focus on some of the most popular. So that's what I'm saying. Let's focus on some of the most popular characters. And this is what I'm suggesting. Marvel, if you want to listen to a good idea, listen to my idea. Bring them in individually at first. And then bring in Professor Xavier at the end and coalesces the whole school. I'm going to start a school and I'm going to bring people who are superpowered and I'm going to help them. Because then you're going to see people going through different things. Bring in a younger version of some of these characters. And I say, make Wolverine be there from the very beginning. Have him stop off and you can't do a Hulk movie by himself, but you can do a Hulk and Wolverine movie. You can't do a
Hulk movie by himself.
He can't. Because of Universal contract. No, they cannot.
Why can't
he can't? It's a contractual thing. No, he has to be either in a It's with Universal. That's what that's what it says. Take a look at the blogs. That's what they've been talking about for the longest.
No, they're saying no. They did do a movie without anyone in it. The first Hulk and then the one they Marvel Universe.
I'm talking about right now. You can't do unless you go to Universal. If it's in the Marvel Universe right now.
They did one in the Marvel Universe.
Who?
The one right after. Marvel Studios did the second Hulk.
Who?
The Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah, wait. Are you talking about the movie that was done with the guy America? What is it? With Norton? No, we're not talking about. I'm talking about the current dude right now, baby. All right. So look,
you're saying that he said he won't do a movie without somebody?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a contractual issue between Universal and stuff. All right. I'm not going to fight you with that. We're talking about X-Men right now. We're digressing. we're digressing once again, okay? But here, what I'm talking about right now is that what about a movie bringing in the Wolverine into, not the Avengers, I think we need to hold the Avengers a little later. And I think there has to be like a big bad out there. And that big bad is what's going to reveal the whole X-Men universe of people and that's been going on. Who've been secretly, you know. Nah, let's not do Magneto. I agree with you 100%. I wish they would have held off Apocalypse a little longer. We could have do something. I don't know. We could do, hell, it could be Loki for all I care. But the key thing is that whatever event happens later. I think that key Avengers should be brought in slowly, individually in some of the smaller movies.
Young Avengers?
Not Avengers, sorry about it. I mean, X-Men should be brought into some of these other Thors. Like an X-Men shows up in Thor, you know, that could be Storm. You could have an Ant-Man, have who's a good time traveling guy, have Rogue show up there, you know, have Professor, probably have cameos in all of these little movies, like, oh, so that is what's happening, huh? Have them do like the Nick Fury thing. Oh, so that's what the heroes are doing. And so at the very end, you then did the big Avenger movie blockbuster. X-Men show up and say, "Hey, we're here to save the day." And they're like, "Who are you guys? We've been hitting all this time, but we've come to our own, and we want to also save the world. But hey, you guys are mutants, yes, but we also have that whole mutant." Anti-mutant thing, because remember Civil War registered, the mutants ain't registered, bro. They not registered, so it continues along that line. Of course, Iron Man
talking about no more Secret Wars,
and then it continues on. That's my take. Bring them in individually, a couple of the key ones individually. Have cameos for Professor Xavier. The question is, should we use the people from Fox or should it be a clean slate? You know, bring them individually. The key ones I want to see: Cyclops, Wolverine. Cyclops is bad. If they gave him enough time, Cyclops is a master tactician. He's on the level of who's one of the best tacticians they have there right now? Captain America. You know, have him there. That'd be great. Captain America Captain America's not around, but I'm just
not there anymore.
Captain America and Iron Man are not around. So I'm saying, but I'm saying right now I'm just saying he's on the level, a tactical level as someone of Captain America's stature. You bring in Wolverine. Wolverine has to be. People want to see Wolverine. Probably may not be the first movie, but bring him in by the end, because by the time he comes in the big reveal, Wolverine, you're gonna love it. If that movie doesn't sell $1 billion, I'll be a shocker.
But you just want the thing is that you don't believe in the characters.
Huh?
You want to do, hey, let's have 5 million characters to make sure we make money.
I didn't say that. You just throwing words. I said no. We need to reveal them slowly. A couple of characters sprinkled here and there,
or
and
in a series of having Ant-Man and have Wolverine show up.
In a series of movies. But you should also have Charles Xavier like, oh, this is what's going on, and then little by little, a little cameo. Oh, we can do this too. We have to stand up for our rights. But at the same time, they need to be playing up that mutants need to be registered. Mutants needs to be, and so there's an undercurrent of stuff happening. So by the time we hit that big Avenger final where the mutants finally show up to show everything, bam, we understand what the mutants are going through. We understand the issues that they've been dealing with. We also understand why Professor Xavier has gotten his group together, and we understand why they're good. That's what I'm saying, you know. And perfect movies for that. Ant-Man is coming out. Was going to say Black Panther, but we don't know what's going on with that. We got Love and Thunder coming out. Love and Thunder. I mean, Wolverine character would be hilarious there, but let's not do. Let's do Storm. Let's do Storm.
How would Wolverine add into Love and Thunder?
I didn't say all right. Leave that. I'm just saying we could put a character there. I don't know why you're hating, bro. I'm giving you great. I'm great.
Bro,
I'm giving you great.
Hating, bro.
Oh, whoa! Are you dissing, bro? Are you really dissing? Yo, I know you're not going there. Let me give you a big thumbs. What is that? No, there's only thumbs up, a thumbs down, a clap. I can't do that. I'm just gonna be a shock face.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
You know, gas face. Oh,
funny.
You know what I'm trying to say? So, all I'm saying is that hey, I think that's the best way. Bringing a big team, X-Men is too big of a team to be bringing in at one time. We saw what happened in Fox. Let's divorce ourselves from everything that happened in Fox. Well, let's not do that. Just say this was an alternate reality. This is a whole new reality. They're developing that whole multiverse stuff. This is perfect. This is X-Men from world 2573271556. That far away. Okay? Possibly we may get another Old Man Logan. That's what I'm hoping for. We got another, that Wolverine crosses over into this universe, but that's a whole nother dream that's going on
You're asking
right
for a
now.
lot.
I know, but I'm just saying right now, just sprinkle them in little by little. Let it happen, you know. And as that goes on, we will see all the things that happen. That's all I'm saying, bro.
All you're
You know?
looking for is, you're not even looking for stories. You're looking for him to fight characters. Oh, the next Hulk movie.
I never said anything. I said just sprinkle them in. I never said that.
Hulk
Never said,
needs, listen, I'm going backtracking. Said, well, Hulk can't do a movie by himself, so do we do another bad story where Wolverine, why is Wolverine trying to kill the Hulk this time? Hulk is Professor Hulk now. Why would they fight? Can you solve that for me? I need some
we
help.
just said that's not, no, you're stuck on Wolverine. What about Cyclops? Let's bring Cyclops into it. Let Cyclops be the one in. It can't be him and Thor, but it could be him and Ant-Man. It could be him and something. Someone sends out Thor, sends out a badass Cyclops. Can you stop grabbing your head, bro? Can you stop?
Me crazy.
Well, if it works, if the shoe fits,
right.
So be it.
Here's my issue with Cyclops. His interactions are better with the X-Men. Same with Wolverine. Same with all of the X-Men characters. So how do you solve that when you put him with Captain, or put him with Thor or Ant-Man or Peter Parker? His character doesn't necessarily jive with that. You can have moments like Marvel Team Up when you did like have Spider-Man and Thor and Storm, but then it's like it's just sort of a oil and water sort of thing. Whereas ultimately it's hard to do. Where Cyclops it'd be hard to sort of. Character doesn't necessarily jive with that. Hold on.
That's all me.
Oh, why this? All right. So, that's one of the things that you have to think about is like when you try to do Cyclops by himself, and it's worked as within the X-Men comics as doing a solo issue with him, but then trying to have him connect with Spider-Man, where it's like, would this sort of work? How would this sort of thing? And Marvel has done the two different things, but then at the same time, it's not necessarily a quick fix. It's not something that sort of works where you say, oh, that's what I want to see. People want to see Wolverine because then they're like, oh, shut up. Or said something nasty to people and whatnot, that sort of thing. So he's the easy one to do, but at the same time, he's more playing to being a reactor to these characters. So either Thor, either Spider-Man, or Ant-Man, he's sort of the same like you go F yourself scene in First Class, where it's just like for a gag, which would be the same thing we would see with the Thing, but we haven't seen we kind of look at Wolverine as that guy now. So.
Then bring back Cable. Make Cable the guy. I'm trying to say, what the hell? Bring him back.
We already got a Cable. We already got a Cable.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Yes.
So I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm saying that, as long as we get the X-Men, all I'm saying, look, all I said, and I'll say it again, and I'll make sure that you understand it this time, that as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's a great idea to bring them back as one big team right away, a big bang. I think what you should be doing is bringing back some very key characters, or at least have cameos of those key characters sprinkled throughout some of these new Marvel Phase 4, so we see them going on either in Avengers. Hey, probably could be a versus thing where they're fighting somebody, who knows? But at the same time, we have Professor Xavier in the background observing and seeing what's going on. Third, they should be developing the whole people against people with abilities. Like in Civil War, where superpowered individuals can I finish? In Civil War, where they were saying that superpowered individuals need to be registered, they should be starting to say the same thing about the mutants. So by the time we get to Avengers versus X-Men, or Avengers, whatever, Avengers versus X-Men,
See, there you go again.
Yeah, possibly that's a possibility where the Avengers are going to be fighting the X-Men. Of course, a misunderstanding because there's really a big bad in the back. But yeah, That could be a possibility. That's what I'm
No
talking about, baby.
misunderstanding. All it is a cash grab.
And that offends your auteur
No, it's
sensibilities,
not
right?
about being auteur. It's about having a basic story, as basic as you can get. When they did Avengers versus X-Men, they like what was it? What's that? X-Men Titans is a cash grab. But what they did was, hey, let's not immediately do a fight. They had the the new Teen Titans fight Xavier, and then they had the X-Men fight Parademons and the what's that guy in Terminator and Deathstroke the Terminator. So we got a cool mix of things instead of giving us exactly what we were going there for, which was each character matching with characters that look alike or look similar. Having Colossus fight Cyborg, Storm fight Raven or something like that. Even when they had them standing side by side, they had Raven and Wolverine. And Wolverine says, "I don't know why I spooked I spooked the Witch Lady," or something like that. So it's like you want to get to the differences. So then their the big bad was Darkseid and Dark Phoenix. And Dark Phoenix, the Titans think the X-Men are with this entity that destroyed all these buildings, these beings, right? But then they find out, oh, it was a misunderstanding, but they only fought Xavier. But we got to see the cool things of Xavier using his powers, right? And then the X-Men and the Titans and Xavier and the X-Men go out and stop the Phoenix and Darkseid. And Darkseid and the Phoenix entity is not something that sides with the X-Men. The X-Men don't side with the Dark Phoenix. They're against it. And then ultimately, the Dark Phoenix, seeing itself being sort of done, messed up by Darkseid, allows Cyclops to meld with him. And then Cyclops sends Darkseid to the source wall. So then they took it in Avengers versus X-Men and saying, the Phoenix is coming, and the X-Men side with the Phoenix. When the X-Men were never with the Phoenix. They're never cool with Dark Phoenix, who took all over these worlds. And then Cyclops is just hell-bent on protecting the Phoenix, and then they got infinite amount of powers, and somehow, like, it's totally took a simple, fun thing for the fans, and then they turned it into, oh, the X-Men are going to side with the Phoenix because Jean Grey, and they're like, no, they already did X-Men Titans. They didn't side with the Phoenix. They're the ones trying to stop the Phoenix. And now the Avengers are the ones that try to stop Phoenix. Come on.
Okay, yeah, but let's leave that whole Phoenix stuff alone. We're just talking about how to bring them in, bro. Yeah, we understand. They can't do another Phoenix. This will be like the third time going. I don't know, bro. I think we need to like bring it back down.
I'm saying the Avengers versus that sort of thing is pointless. It's like Batman versus Superman. We already did Civil War. That thing wasn't that good as far as you had some.
That was interesting, sure. I don't know why you're fighting it.
What, Civil War?
Yeah.
No, it was not. It was just trying to capitalize off of Batman versus Superman. But they did some good scenes with some of the characters. But I don't need to see them running around fighting. The first, it said so much bad. It said so much bad stuff about Captain America. But Captain America was so against Shield, saying, "Nope. If there's anything wrong, we have to take it all out." And there's a lot wrong with Winter Soldier. And Cap is like, "No, this is my friend." This is like, well, you spend all that time destroying everything in Shield, every helicarrier, just in case. And with your friend, you're like, well, he was bad, but like he's my friend. Like, come on. Like he in the comic books, he even brought the Falcon to justice. Like, come on. Why wouldn't he?
Why not? Why not?
He didn't do that with he allowed the Winter Soldier to just hang out and do whatever he was doing in the background when he knew he had this history. He knew that he did these things. He knew that and that's the other problem, is that Rob Liefeld just owned up that a lot of the motivation used in those movies, the stuff that bits of his Heroes Reborn story. We can have that. They redid the Winter Soldier is different than the one that's in the comics, and the one in the movies is similar to what Captain America went through in the Liefeld thing, where they were wiping Cap's mind over and over again, wiping him, putting him on missions, wiping his mind, because he was immortal. Then they were playing the super soldier serum, made him immortal. So somehow, what's the name has been wiped all that time too. So it's just like, no, don't use that stuff. So, all right, I went on a tangent. I got myself riled up again.
Yeah, you got yourself riled up. Of course, that's what I'm trying to say. So look, all we're just trying to talk about how to get him into the team. What about Professor Xavier? What are your thoughts on that? Should he be brought in just when the whole team come in, or like the great idea that I heard recently for myself, where I said bring him, sprinkle him little by little?
Xavier is a character that could be sprinkled in, but Xavier should be.
Yes, I got it. Goal. Thank you. That's all I asked for. No more.
Wow. I
That's
didn't
it.
even get to finish that one.
Oh, you can finish all you want, but I just have to call it out right now before you turn around and pervert it somehow.
Not with his powers as a head, like a head, genetic physicist that's just can be on television from time to time talking about, his belief of that mutant kind are positive. But they don't know that he's Professor X. They know he's Charles Xavier. And we don't know that he has powers.
Okay, you know what? Every once in a while, you come up with a good idea. That may be the way to go.
Well,
but didn't they already do that in the Fox version? I thought he was like speaking to the government at one point. And no, but they didn't know that he was.
In the later ones, they know that he's connected to the X-Men.
Right.
He's in the original series. He's just friendly with the X-Men. And he's like, there's a part where the X-Men save the day with the Sentinels, and the X-Men are with the military. They're cleaning everything up. The military is helping taking the injured X-Men to the hospital. And Professor Xavier, the army guys, are like, hey, Professor Xavier, do you want to live home? And the Professor goes, no, maybe one of the X-Men could take me home.
So here's another question.
Oh God.
What is a great story? If let's say X-Men got their own movie, what would be a great series of movies that you think they could possibly make? I personally think one of the things that they should be looking at is the Shi'ar.
You did it again. You asked me a question and then you just went into it.
So I think the Shi'ar.
Well, you got what you wanted. You could go to Shi'ar. You can go big cosmic. You can have. I don't know how you bring it in, but there you go.
And we can go back to the Phoenix Den at the very end.
Oh, at the Phoenix, you can do all the stuff you said you weren't supposed to do. You can do all of that.
I said at the beginning. I didn't say at the end. You do 3 movies of the locals up. Go to Shi'ar.
Why you can use the X-Men? Why not just use the Shi'ar? Why not just use the Ken and Lilandra and Deathbird? Use all those characters, and you have the Imperial Guard in DC sitting around being upset that you got the Legion of Superheroes on the X-Men world. They got hoodwinked. They got hoodwinked and Stan, because ultimately, when they created the DC knew about the Imperial Guard, but DC, in an agreement with Marvel, was supposed to be allowed to have X-Men version fight the Justice League, so it'd be like a crossover. So Dave Cockrum, because Dave Cockrum was a Legion of Superheroes artist, his design for Timberwolf is similar to the Wolverine, but Marvel's came out, DC's Stan Lee nixed. So they screwed him over. So it's supposed to be a gentleman's thing, and Stan's like, no, we're not having them do that.
Well, okay. Well, probably better for them anyways. So any final thoughts, PD?
Not for DC.
So PD, any final thoughts?
Just let the Avengers use the Shi'ar. Instead of using Galactus, they could just use them and don't use the X-Men at all. Because ultimately, I think they should have done a last Fox Universe Proteus and I'm gonna read. We're still working on this. Some other scenes I want to add to my X-Men trailer, Proteus, but maybe Proteus for the first X-Men story, because you got some intrigue. You have to, but the problem is now you have to introduce a new Margaret McTaggart, that sort of thing, and really build up that relationship instead of Xavier cutting off her mind and all that stuff. Have a thing where she fell out of love and she found love somewhere else that didn't work out, and then ultimately they had this kid that's the worst mutant alive, and X-Men come around and save the day. But it also utilizes the effects from what's that thing? What's that thing called? Oh, the stuff that's in the the Dark Knight director. What's that guy? Who did the Dark Knight movie?
The director who did the Tenant, who
Yes,
did.
Tenet. And then
I'm
he
not going
did
to
that
help you.
other
I'm
big
not.
movie.
I'm not going to help you.
Oh wow, that's what you're not gonna do?
I'm not going to help you because
I
you're down.
actually,
You're down in my ideas, and I'm not going to
what
rock with it.
idea? I said to Shia, I agreed with your Xavier
Yeah,
thing.
but you wanted to get rid of the X-Men. The whole purpose of this talk is the X-Men back in the Marvel universe on Disney, not how do we get rid of them, because they have to be done in
I
the
said
theater.
you could get rid of it and just use that.
No,
Christopher Nolan.
we're
And Christopher Nolan, he did the classic film that everybody loves. It has all that effects that was used in what's that movie? Damn, I'm just falling apart here. Christopher
because you
Nolan,
can't handle the truth. That's what the problem is, and you're trying to fight against it. You know, you're putting up blocks, not only blocks to me, you're putting blocks in your own mind and you're blocks in your throat. And
Inception, because I use that all the time in my everyday and I forgot now. Inception is those effects and be utilized by Proteus, the master of
you
reality.
can't, it was already used by Doctor Strange. You can't
Yeah,
turn
and if
around.
everyone is using wants to be second, why can't you use that in here? Because ultimately the thing is the Proteus is not just that. You can you don't have to do exactly the same thing. You can play around with reality, but his other thing is this horror aspect that he's possessing other bodies. And that's the key to defeating him. And it'd be a heavy moment between Xavier, his former love, Xavier's former love's husband, their son, all this stuff done the right way, where this guy is pure evil, pure
No,
terror.
it should be, if you really want to go there, all right, I hear your point, but I think if they really want to do the whole thing, if they're not going to use a Shi'ar, there's only one other option. There's just one clear other option.
Okay. Cool.
Hellfire Club with the Sentinels.
But they already did this to the Hellfire Club.
In Fox?
Yeah, in First Class.
Damn, you're
They
right.
had the White
Shucks.
Queen and
Yeah,
the Black
you're
Queen.
right. Damn, is that forgettable, isn't it? Huh? Shucks. Damn, you're right about
Proteus
that.
is the biggest one.
I don't know about Proteus. I didn't like
And
that
they
story.
did Proteus before they did Doctor Strange. They could have this same way Doctor Strange stole all the Inception effects and did a little more stuff. They could have stole all the Inception too. Like they basically copied all those effects, and nobody had a problem with it,
I
right?
don't know.
Here we go. You just start saying, I don't know. Oh, I disagree.
Yeah, yes, you're right. All right, you got me. Yes, you did. You're right. Okay. What do you want me to do?
So I guess that wraps it up. He's going to bring in the Shire to actually, and then sprinkle in the X-Men characters here and there. I'm going with just a solo movie that we would start the whole thing and see where we end up.
That's not exactly what I said. Okay, but
What'd you
I did
say?
say I said sprinkle in the characters, start bringing them in, the
And
most popular characters one by one.
That's a
You
sprinkle
know,
in. That's what I said.
you have Colossus, you have Wolverine, you have Storm.
Just
You know,
like
you have
hearing his own voice now.
and then have a big bad at the end. It could be Avengers versus X-Men, which is very interesting. It could also be X-Men versus the Shi'ar. Okay, it could be a whole bunch of
How does
different
that
things.
bring them into the series, though? Oh, because you already sprinkled them into Ant-Man,
Exactly.
the Young Avengers.
And you start the whole mutant, you start that whole mutant hate stuff for before using the civil War Registration Act of powered individuals. You have Xavier also sprinkled in. So by the time they get to the movie, we already know some of these characters, what they're doing, and they've already interacted with the Avengers. Okay. So, hey guys, thank you for listening. Like I said, hey, if you like what you're doing, please comment, subscribe. Hey, we just want to hear from you guys, however, so we can make this channel a bit better. Once again, my boy Petey, can you give us a shout out?
What up? Later, y'all.
Spin a rock.
Out.